Our exclusive interview with President Barack Obama at a time when a lot of Americans are having serious difficulty making ends meet and are desperately looking for leadership on the economy. ABC's Jake Tapper joined the president on his bus tour to two key election states. And he asked him, is there really a plan in place? And how long is it going to take to get the country back on track? So here is ABC's senior White House correspondent, Jake Tapper.
Now, you may have heard we're taking a little road trip this week. It's a chance to get out of Washington.
The president's bus tour may be rolling through the tranquil autumn countrysides of North Carolina and Virginia.
Looks like the food must be pretty good here. It tastes great. We stopped for a little North Carolina barbecue and sweet tea along the way. Some hush puppies. Don't tell Michelle exactly what was on the menu.
But there's nothing amusing about the state of his presidency as he fights for his jobs bill and for his job.
We are going to keep fighting, and we're going to keep working to put people back to work.
This trip is official White House business, not a campaign trip.
I appreciate the 4 more years, but right now I'm thinking about the next 13 months.
We sat with him today to find out just how bad he thinks things are and what it means for the American people.
Are you worried?
I'm not worried in the sense that I don't think we can solve these problems. The jobs plan that I've put forward, we know would grow the economy by as much as 2%. We know that it could add as many as 1.9 million jobs. We could put teachers back in the classroom. We can put construction workers back on the job rebuilding our roads and bridges and schools. We know that would work. I'm not worried about the long-term prospects of this economy because we still have the best universities in the world, the best workers in the world. We've got the best entrepreneurs and the best market system in the world. But I am concerned that right now, things in Washington are broken.
There's a little edge, there's a little tone of frustration, and one of your friends told me that you are deeply frustrated and worried about the economy.
If you hear a sense of urgency in my voice, it's because these problems are solvable, but you don't get a sense that we're moving in Washington with the sense of urgency that's required.
We're sitting in a state right now where a majority of the voters disapprove of your handling of the economy. Right. We'll be going to Virginia later, where a majority of the voters do not think you deserve to be reelected.
The fact is that the American people are rightly frustrated over what they see as a system in which responsibility is not always rewarded. That sense that the American dream is slipping away, I think that is something that helped get me elected, but it hasn't been entirely solved yet.
Some of the frustration has come out in this Occupy Wall Street protests. You've expressed sympathy with their position, their feeling of powerlessness.
What I've said is that I understand the frustrations that are being expressed in those protests. In some ways, they're not that different from some of the protests that we saw coming from the Tea Party, both on the left and the right. I think people feel separated from their government. They feel that their institutions aren't looking out for them.
Ladies and gentlemen, the President of the United States.
But the president's argument on this trip is pointed. He's saying that Republicans are the ones not looking out for them.
Maybe they just couldn't understand the whole thing all at once. So we're going to break it up into bite-sized pieces.
Republicans who block his legislation. His most recent defeat, the jobs bill that failed in the Senate, and now will be broken up into parts.
It seems like sometimes your pitch, or the White House's pitch, is you're almost a victim in this. It's those mean Republicans that are blocking me. You've really gotten a lot done.
I don't say that we're victimized. What I say is that we've got too little of the kind of let's work together attitude in Washington that we need. And that has been true since I came into office. And that's just a fact.
The component the president focused on today is $30 billion in aid to states to save teachers' jobs. At the school where we spoke, the president showed off his personal knowledge of children's books.
Now what's your favorite? What are your favorites?
I'm a big Dr. Seuss guy, but I can't.
You can't beat Dr.
No,
Seuss.
he's just
man. He's classic. Lazy Maisie. You know,
I don't know Lazy Maisie.
In Horton, you know, when Horton's sitting on the egg and Lazy Maisie flies away, and
I haven't gotten up to the Horton ones yet.
you haven't.
We left the school as the president made his way to his next stop.
Do you worry that our kids are not going to have a better life than we did? You and I are both dads with young kids.
You know, I am actually very confident that America is positioned to do as well in the 21st century as we did in the 20th. If we make some tough decisions, if we make a concerted effort to reform our schools, put more resources in our schools that our kids can learn. There are things we know we have to do, and if we do them, our kids will be fine. If we don't do them, then our kids are going to be inheriting an America that is not as strong as it's been, and their opportunities are going to be more constrained.